Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch div stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello. How's everybody doing today? Feeling good? Feeling fine? You may notice I remembered this week, Medic. I remembered. And definitely not because Aaron reminded me like 20 minutes ago, I swear. Okay, fine. Aaron, thank you for reminding me like 20 minutes ago. And I may still use my keyboard and mouse a little bit here and there, but we're playing on a controller today. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see what happens. The one problem that I do have here is that the button layout that it's showing me on screen is for an Xbox controller. And you may notice this is not an Xbox controller layout. We are using a Switch controller layout. So I might get a little confused from time to time, and I apologize. Oh, that's that. Okay, yep. Oh. I may have to switch my my control layout here. Just so I, you know, can figure my stuff out a little bit. All right. Okay, what this is okay, that's still that's good. All right. Cuz yeah, none of the keys relate one to one, I don't think right now. But that's just because I've set things up terribly on my end for trying to play other games with controller. So we're gonna have some fun with it. It's gonna be a good screen. I'm gonna die a bunch. I got stuff for when I die. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all have brought some wonderful questions today. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. My name is Mike. I'm a senior developer for 11th Hour Games and Last Epoch, and I'm gonna play some games while I answer your questions. If you have a question you'd like me to answer, please put at Last Epoch Game in the question so I know you want me to answer it. I'll do my best. I'll get behind. It's all good. And what else? Oh yeah, we stream for charity. Boom! Child's Play. It's our charity of the month. Okay, I'm gonna die here. That's gonna happen. I should probably go to an easier spot because I'm not as good with a controller as I am with keyboard and mouse yet. Just because muscle memory is not there. Yeah, there's. Okay. I really like it. Like, I just need to get my muscle memory down. And like everything's gonna be great. It's so ingrained in my brain. I think I need to change main attack from right trigger because my fingers are gonna get tired at this rate. Oh, it's kind of nice with like reap and harvest on the triggers. We'll see. See what I do. I almost want transplant on left bumper though, because that way I'd have like both my movement abilities on that like that left index finger. There's gonna be a little bit of me figuring out how to do this properly. All right, we do have a question here. Good evening, Mike. Good evening. Don't die, Mike. It is also a little trickier to keep up with questions because I won't have my hand on my keyboard and mouse, and the scrolling is not easy to keep up with sometimes. But today it might be a little slow. We'll see. We'll see. Good evening, Mike. My question today is in regards to collaboration and what you personally would like. Ooh, I like personal questions. To a degree. If given the chance to collaborate and integrate an outside universe lore and characters into Last Epoch with respect to staying true to HG's vision and lore, what universe would you like to bring into Eterra? In my mind, something like the Warhammer Fantasy series or the Witcher universe would be good, air quotes, examples of universes collabing. Very interesting question, one that I've thought of many times. I think it's really tricky to come up with like a version that actively works. Mostly because we're pretty small, like in the grand scheme of things. Last Epoch is not some mega. This button, yeah, it's that button. Figured it out first try. It's not some like mega franchise yet. So the realistic options are tricky, I think. But like pie in the sky, whatever say it goes, you know, just go for it, Mike. I think it would be, and I know I'm dancing on this topic. The topic is fairly personal for me right now because I play a lot of Magic, and there's a lot of stuff happening regarding IP collaboration in Magic right now, good and bad. And so it's a tricky topic, I think, for me right now to like separate my own feelings from that a little bit. I think like Chrono Trigger is the easy answer here, but it's still, I think, would be great because like I think you could put so many similarities. You could like almost talk about like other worlds, other versions of reality, and like I think you could almost make it fit because they are like ours is so inspired by Chrono Trigger. I think there's a lot more room there. But then like there's some other ones that I'd love to see too, and I think having some that are a little less on the nose might be good too. I don't know. It's a good question. I like it. I don't think I'd be super quick to like jump into bed with some modern mega franchise like Marvel, for example. But maybe, like, I mean, how do you say no to something like that, right? Like if they came to us and were like, we want to do a collaboration, I'd be like, okay, right? Like, how do you turn that down? So I don't know. I think there's lots of really great options. Something simple, if it was just like I don't know, like a weapon, a single weapon that showed up in the game of ours, and a single weapon that showed up in the game of theirs, or something like that. I mean, or even if it like wasn't an explicit reference, but it was just like it's kind of like it fits, and we each do the sort of thing to like cross over the games. Like Zelda would be a oh my god, really? Yes, type situation for me personally. Turn the heat off in my office because it is getting warm. Okay, I need to figure out a way to scroll chat from the controller.
Worthless anyway.
Nope, not that button. Here's the how do you open your inventory? This one. Nope. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. I know I can do it this way. I thought there might be a hotkey. There we go. Nope, wrong thing. This is just me not knowing the controls right now. Come on, get to this button. There it is. Okay, I got it. No problem. Fixed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And quick move to stash is X, which is Y. Tab is full. We're not figuring out how to add a new tab. To keep things moving. Because I'm just not familiar with it yet. It's been a while. I don't think I've played with a controller for more than just like, hey, let's test to make sure this ability works. Like actual full play sessions with the controller since we did the like pretty sizable update to the controls game. And it feels so much better. Just gotta get that muscle memory down, and oh, it's gonna be great. Okay. Hey Mike, any updates on merch? I did talk to someone about it. I have been following up. This is not something that I'd let lapse and just walked away from. I don't have any. I didn't get any firm information, so I still don't know anything. But I know it's not just me that's being like, come on, let's do it, come on. There are champions on your side. Oh, thank you very much. Medic has resubbed. Wonderful. And Arrow Weird too. 18 months. Oh, it's a big one. And Avril. Oh my goodness, 17 months. And Vapor Vader has rated us. What is going on here? I just missed all of them. Am I just oblivious? I am. Thank you so much, everybody. It was tight. Thank you for trying out controller. You are welcome. I'm curious, Medic, is the I'm curious on the motivation around wanting me to try controller so bad, because I know you've been really vocal at me wanting me to try controller for like a month now. So I guess I'm curious, is this you play with controller and you'd like me to experience it so I maybe fix something? Or is this you're wondering how it plays and you want to see me play with it before you possibly get a controller? Or like what's the hey, I want to see controller gameplay really badly motivation for you personally? I'm interested. Oh, wonderful. I'm really liking it. Like every second longer that I play, it's just like a little bit cleaner, a little bit smoother. Feels good. Merch store update when? Oh, I hope soon. I need to get some bigger shirt or smaller shirts. Swimming in this 2XL now. Oh, it's the hardest one. I didn't even look. This is such a like getting a shrine that matches your primary damage ability is so good. It just feels amazing. You're like, all right, I guess I've just got auto attacks now. Picked up an extra thing there. Thank you very much. We're gifted a sub to Kane. Community manager needing subs gifted from the community. What's going on? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. As always, all to charity as well, so it's good anyways. Hi Mike, any updates on roadmap? Nothing as of yet, sorry to say. I know it's still being worked on. I'd love to get like even just an ETA on like when a new roadmap's coming, because there's like we're gonna refresh the roadmap. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone at this point. At least it probably is, but anyone who's probably in here paying close attention is probably not a big surprise too. And I don't know when that's gonna happen. I hope soon, because I love getting info out there. And Kane's gifting the subs forward. Congrats, Risen. Oh, Risen. Ooh. Okay, don't die, Mike. Gonna do a death seal. Just some pop dots that's going off. The targeting system for Bone Curse is really frustrating. It's not, I'm exaggerating quite a lot. It actually works fine with the build because I've got the auto recast on melee. So when I start meleeing things, it like auto recasts in place anyways. But I'm finding that like it's casting way far away, not hitting anything. So it needs to actually like have a little smarter targeting, which is exactly the sort of thing we're working on for controller inputs right now, is skill specific smarter targeting. So Bone Curse is going to have a different targeting options based on how you specialized it, and it's going to modify how it targets enemies based on how you specialized it as well. So it's going to be a lot better hopefully soon. That's what happens when you inhale water. Whoa. Sorry about that. My goodness. I went right down the wrong pipe. Oh, calm down. Hey, Mike, from one person that works at a computer to another. Hello. What are ways that you avoid / remedy carpal tunnel at the office while creating the game? I'm actually, you know, I don't actively consider carpal tunnel as something that needs to be, oh no, Mike, this is, that's something that needs to be reformed to save my life. As something that like needs to be done. I've never had issues with repetitive strain injuries, and something I should probably pay closer attention to in all reality, but not something that I've ever taken a very responsible look at myself. However, as I was about to say all that, I had reformed too. As I was about to say that, I realized that I have a standing desk, and I spend right now I spend about 6 hours a day standing, and then another like 3 or 4 hours a day sitting. And so like, I think that, and it's not like all in a big clump. I'll do like 2 hours in 1 hour and 2 hours in 1 hour type thing. And I think that like the angle that my wrist is at, like when I'm sitting, is probably different than the angle that my wrist is at when standing. I don't know what that angle is. But I bet that change is like enough to just like make it so it's not really a big issue for me. So I think I'm just really lucky. I'm gonna open the door. It's really hot in here. Oh. It's like borderline concerning the difficulty that I was having like breathing there for a second. We're good now though. Alright, hey Mike. Have a nice stream, thank you very much. I have a question for corruption. Can you tell us how much corruption has the best difficulty to drops ratio? Well, it's not a linear scale, but it is a smooth scale. So it all depends. There isn't a solid answer to this. There's not a number I can say, because it all depends on how fast you actually can complete individual echoes. So let's say you've got, there's me discovering the evade button. So let's say you're able to increase your corruption so that you get 100% more stuff dropping. Like, so your drops are increased by 100%. Now if you can do that faster than half as fast, like if you doubled your drops but you didn't double your time, so like if the ratio of time of average echo completion time is not going up faster than the rate of your increased drop rate is going up, then you should increase corruption more. So it's a bit of an experiment point that you're gonna have to find for every character. And I think for a lot of, like, I'd say like the typical build, with like an experienced RPG player and like with like a good end game build, but not one of the like broken OP builds, I think you're probably looking in and around that like 300 to 500 corruption range, depending on many factors. But that's probably where the top end sort of caps out for a lot of players, I think. which is good because that's where we stop adding new stuff to the game from just like corruption breakpoints on things. For example, there's like you don't get any new blessing selections per boss kill, and you don't get any new there's not new items that start dropping, or new like boss kill items that start dropping and things like that. So there's it's kind of naturally designed to hit those similar breakpoints. Hey Mike, Aaron says, I have to ask a normal question today. Aaron, party pooper. So is there any info on the campaign expansion? People have been asking for it, I assume, so they can ask to skip it. Yeah, I mean, so the I don't have any updates specifically on the eventual campaign update. The only information that's out there on the next step of the campaign is what we put out in the now out of date roadmap that showed some ancient era teases for campaign updates. Yes, the roadmap is significantly out of date now, and we are still working on the campaign. It's interesting. So there's a lot of things you may, if you've been around. Let me start again for like the 5th time in the sentence. Sorry, if you've been around watching Last Epoch for a little while, you probably remember we've done a few big chunks of campaign updates that have happened. When it's sort of gone from like, hey, wow, the quality level of most of the campaign just took a big jump forward, and like there's still room for improvement for sure. And usually one of those big jumps coincides with some new piece of technology we've developed for the game. Invented sounded weird because like, other games do similar things in most of the situations. So, but yes, developed for Last Epoch specifically. And we're kind of in the middle of doing that more right now as well. We're focused on improving the gameplay experience for the campaign and the game in general. So that I think, and this is a very big conversation about the campaign skips that you mentioned as well that people often bring up, is that I really want to improve that campaign experience and the gameplay experience as a whole, just so that like, even if we do decide to hypothetically put some sort of alternate leveling experience into the game, that the campaign is still awesome. That we're not putting that experience into the. We're not putting that. If we were to put that alternate leveling experience into the game, i.e., campaign skip, it's not because the campaign sucks. It's because we just think there's another cool thing to add, and because adding that because the campaign's not good enough, I don't think is a good reason. If that makes any sense. And I think we are more than capable of getting the campaign to a point where, like going through the campaign, a fresh character each season, not cycle, will be fun and interesting and like different enough each time that it's like, hey, this experience is varied and fun, and like it's not just a chore that you have to do at the start of each new season or something like that. And we're looking at all sorts of options and ways to improve that, but also improve the other stuff too that goes with it, around like making new characters and stuff. And I think we've shown that we are trying to improve that experience, especially for making alts, with the changes we made to endgame, and like with other changes that'll be coming too. I think there's a lot of room for improvements to the system overall that we are targeting before directly releasing a new campaign, I think. Or sorry, before we try to do a alternate like leveling experience. If that makes any sense. Right. Hey Mike! Hi. Hope you're doing good. I am doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good too. Fun news just popped in my head, so I'm just gonna say it right now. I'll answer your question in a second. Sorry. We are moving forward with getting new people as other EHG staff on as co-hosts for the stream. Mostly it's just like a guest spot for one stream or two streams, something like that. So people can like come in and hang out, get a taste for it, see if they like it, and you know, people can get a chance to ask some new people questions because they'll have awesome answers to topics that I just say I don't know. And we'll try and announce ahead of time who that's going to be. That was close. I think I just came really close to dying there. All right. With forum/Reddit posts and people being sometimes negative and just want more and more and more, and now they call the game dead. How are you guys? Hope it is the right word. Coping and staying positive. Only love you guys. LE is amazing and have a good future in ARPG space. Thank you very much. There is a how does this? Marketing works really, really, really well. If it's done right. I know nothing about it, but like, there is a very noticeable difference in player count based on marketing. I think that's something that is something that I underestimated in that before we started this, and we haven't really done a ton of marketing since 1.0 launched. The marketing that went out for 1.1 was tiny by comparison, tiny. And so I think it's understandable why on the outside looking in, it might look like we're like the game's just naturally falling off on player count, which it is. The player counts compared to 1.0 obviously significantly lower, but I don't think it's unexpected. And while I have no say over how the marketing system works whatsoever, if I had to guess, I would expect there to be, based on mostly based on like what's happening at 1.2 and how long it's been since a major release and things like that, I would expect the marketing plan to be significantly more prominent than it was in 1.1. So I'm hoping that is gonna assuage all the fears that people have regarding the longevity of the game, because I'm quite confident I'm gonna be here for. I mean, you're gonna try a lot harder than that to get rid of me. Medic, you answered my question. Wonderful, thank you very much. Play controller. You play controller exclusively, and there are abilities I wish that could be better. I'm not a fan of the state leap is in, and if I get Deb to look at it, may fix it. Okay, great. That was one of the options that I thought you might be hoping for. Well, I'm not playing the specific one you're having issues with, but I can tell you that is the exact sort of thing that we are targeting for our next controller update. Is fix skill specific targeting systems for controllers so that they are smarter. The short version. Just yeah. Because yes, traversal skills that are position targeted are very tricky to do with a controller. Like that's transplant, and it goes like half the distance of what transplant could do. So we'll see how it all shakes out, and it's gonna be something that once we do release that first version of it, and we have the system, the underlying system we're building for it has a 3-tier targeting priority. So there's each ability will get one primary targeting. We're creating a bunch of new targeting methods for controllers. So like nearest enemy, largest clump of enemies, farthest enemy within a range, just fixed distance in front of you. There's all sorts of different variants we're doing for all these things. And like when we come across a new ability that we're like, hey, this one doesn't really fit into any of the existing ones, we make a new one for it. And then so every skill will have like a primary one, and if there's no valid targets on the primary one, it'll go to a secondary one. If there's no valid targets on the secondary one, it'll do whatever it does now with the controller. That's the fallback. And then as you select nodes in your skill tree, it'll be able to pick out new. It'll actually actively change the mutator for the abilities will change what those targeting priorities are. Based on which nodes you've taken. Like if you've taken a channeling node, suddenly the targeting changes. If you've taken a turns off traversal, turns on traversal, those will all affect the targeting systems that are used that priority. And I think there's going to, because there's so many abilities and so many nodes that can change that, there's going to be ones we miss in the first pass. We're going to be relying heavily on QA and then the CT program to get as many of those. But like there's combinations of abilities that someone won't play because there's so many combinations of abilities. Just someone will miss one of those combinations, and so we are going to be looking heavily at feedback when 1.2 comes out for specific skill combinations and node selections that don't work quite as well as we hoped they'd to, and we'll be updating those individually on the fly. So I would expect, I can't guarantee, but I would expect some of the first hotfixes from 1.2 to include some of these targeting updates. Minute continues, I have carpal tunnel and it's been a godsend to me after converting to controller. I want the world to try it. Yes. I just keep playing if I don't click over there. Oh, I can. That works. Nice. Like crafting materials. We're gonna go this way. Hey, hi. I asked to stream many months ago and thought I would toss this one at you again. Any plans on when the cosmetic store will see some new items, specifically cosmetics for abilities and spells? I'm all about the bling, and 99.9% of endgame to me is bling. Hey, fashion show endgame's a real thing in many games. So I fully understand where you're coming from. We are very actively working on new cosmetics right now. The next time they'll come out is probably not until 1.2, so Q1 25. But there are quite a few, and at least one new category of cosmetics. Yeah, I think I'd say that, sure. I already said it, so I guess I have to. One new category of cosmetics will be included as well. So when I say category of cosmetics, I mean like helmet would be a category of cosmetic, like one of the slots that's in there. In that UI. I think it's just one, but I'll say at least one. I'm like trying to think if there's more than one. At least one. Out of gills, I'm trying to breathe water. Never. You can't make me. All right. Can we plan on a more uniform launches every 3 months, every 4 months, or will it be more along the lines of when Ready season comes out? You know, we definitely have. Oh no! Come on, come on. What is it? That's potion. Found it. I was bleeding out there. I had no idea what my potion key was. Okay. Reliability of content release intervals is something we've I think struggled with a little bit since 1.0 came out. It was something we were actually really good at before 1.0 came out. And as we're growing, we've had to adopt some new systems, and you know, there's a bit of a learning curve on getting that to be a little more smooth. We've been aiming for that same 3 to 4 month window this entire time. I think we'll have more. I think we'll have a better image on how we're going to approach that timing consistently after 1.2 drops. Alright, I know it's early in your stream, but you got any teasers for later? I do have teasers for later. I do. I actually brought 2 teasers this time. Yeah. They're really good ones too. Well, they're my favorite type of teasers, put it that way. Sometimes people don't like the type, but I love this. It's my favorite. You'll have lots to speculate on. And part of me doesn't want to post them too early because I don't want to have to dodge questions about them. But we'll get one up not too long here. We'll let it sit for a little bit. All right. Remember to add me to the ping. Yes. Please put at Last Epoch game in the question so I know to answer it. Because, you know, people have side conversations, stuff like that. Come on, get some heals. Oh, too slow, Mike. Reaper form's an interesting beast. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and the like popping out of Reaper form and sitting in human form for so long is it's tricky if you fall out in the middle of an echo. It's very tricky because I'm so vulnerable right now. Okay. And I'm like been trying to find a way to make it, because so you kind of have to put a cooldown on it because Reaper it's a get out of jail free card. You cannot die when you're in Reaper form, so there has to be some something, you know. The best way to do it. Will melee minions be air quotes fixed so they don't just stack up and only kill enemies one at a time? This is a tricky one because it implies the creation of an existent, like a collective controller for minions, something that says like that coordinates. So they're like, hey, you 3 go that way and you 2 go that way. Each minion right now is actively controlling itself and picking out a target for itself. It doesn't have someone deciding where it's going to go for it. Which also means that it doesn't know what every other minion is targeting. And I'm also thinking as well, like sometimes you really want your minions to focus fire the same target. And having them be smart enough to know which like nodes you have selected that like determine if you want it to be focus firing or not. That's tricky. Yeah, I don't know the best way to improve that. But I don't think we have any major changes for like a group consciousness, like a hive mind or something like that to start working. Right. Any updates on the dragon class? No, I have no information on any potential new classes coming. Sorry. It was a fun conversation last stream, but I don't want anyone to get ahead of themselves on anything we were talking about. It was mostly just for fun. Right. More questions, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hello. A few months ago, I felt that the greatest and lowest values in the tiers were rolling less often than others. Now I don't feel it. Is something changes in the random, or was I unlucky? Yes, something did change in the way randomization was calculated. You were right. It was rolling middle numbers more frequently than higher numbers. Or lower numbers. And now it's more evenly distributed. Alright, I recently came across a Last Epoch discussion video. And on the topic was game balance. So I was wondering about your definition of class and game balance. Oh my gosh. A definition. Okay, let's try and craft the definition for game balance right now. So what's the goal when trying to balance a game? The goal when trying to balance a game, we're gonna do this off the top of my head. I'm not gonna claim this is the correct answer or the official answer to this question, but we're gonna see what we come up with, and we'll give you my personal answer on the fly. So I think it is creating an environment in which players have the opportunity to express creativity and gain advantages over the naive case. That's not bad, actually. So when I say the naive case, it's a player who has no experience with the game, picks things at random, is kind of like, oh, I like red, so I'm gonna pick Fireball because Fireball's red. You know, like not taking game balance into consideration, like the opposite of min-maxing. So if you're really trying to just do whatever, having opportunities in your decision making to get edges over players like that, so that there is, and this requires imbalance in a system, because if a system is perfectly balanced, it doesn't actually matter what you pick, because every option has the same maximum potential. So you want imbalance in the game, but having that imbalance be, I guess, carefully curated is what's going to get a fun and interesting system to play in. So yeah, I can't remember. Someone clipped that, because I think it was actually a good sentence. And I can't remember exactly what I said now, but I think it was pretty good. I'm just gonna move on, because I think that's I think I'm happy with that somehow. There's probably some, I'm thinking there's probably some like random game design like extra credits video. Extra credits is fantastic if you've ever seen them. That probably said something very similar to that, and it's probably just like coming out of the back of my brain. So I may not have come up with that off the top of my head. I don't know where I came from if I didn't. All right, I see a few Doritos in the beard. Really? I haven't had Doritos in years. I actually thought I just was looking pretty good. I did have some like shredded carrots with my lunch. Maybe there's like a little piece of carrot in my beard. I hope not. Now you got me all self-conscious with my beard having stuff in it. Oh gosh. I'm not trying to win any food eating contests here. I love that guy. All right. Ooh. Couple distinguished ones. Okay, more questions. Lots here. I'm ready. How long before 1.2 releases will you announce a date? 1 month, 2 months? I don't know. I hope. I like. It's a tricky balancing act on when to announce stuff like that, because you want to stay flexible enough that if something goes wrong or really right, you can adjust. But having that information out as soon as possible is probably the best thing for the community. So like, it's a delicate balancing act. I'd love to be able to give like a tentative date right now, because we know probably within like a 3-week window of where it's likely going to be, I think, at this point. You know, given no other changes in what's happening around the market and that sort of stuff, and like no major problems and things like that. So like, I'd love to be able to be a little bit more like, yeah, it's probably gonna be around this time, like more narrow than 3 months, but get it down to a 3-week window. I think would be really nice. But it's really tricky to do that because you know, if you're ever in a situation where you change what you said on a release date, it's not great, right? So keeping that window vague until you know for sure is the safe bet. Okay. Word on the street is MTX skills coming to the shop for season 2. Can you confirm? I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time. But just hypothetically, if there was like a skill MTX, a skill that you'd really love to see have MTX, I'd be interested to know what that would be. These little munchkins spawning dudes, making it so I can't pick stuff up. So I gotta sort my inventory. I will have vengeance. I will have satisfaction. Okay. We're out of the woods. Let's hope that doesn't count as using an ability. Transfer, sort. It will check it out eventually. Okay. Sure. We'll grab that. We'll grab this. I'm gonna get another question going. And we're gonna change this screen so I stop seeing stuff scrolling. Matt, you know I'm streaming! Oh my gosh. No, this one. But I put down the controller. All right. Okay. Ever thought about allowing falconers to replace the falcon with a cosmetic pet? Yeah, absolutely. Like the insta best-selling cosmetic of all time on our store would be a Phoenix falcon replacement. Like that's. I don't think anyone is under any illusions to the contrary. Like, it would be immediately popular. I don't think anyone's actively working on that right now. But like, if you said, "Hey Mike, snap your fingers and there's a specific MTX in the store, it can be anything you want," that's what it would be. All right. Hi, Mike. Please tell us that Q125 is January and not longer. I refuse to give you any information on the specific timing. I apologize. Once there is a large list of cosmetics in the game, will we eventually see discounts on small groups of cosmetics every so often? I think, yeah, I don't know for sure. I think sales, like cosmetic sales for things like that is a pretty common practice for like a bundle pack of something and like a, hey, you know, this has been sitting on the store for a couple of years, and maybe it's less popular, but we'll bundle it together with all these, and they're all half off or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that's a thing you do in a store, like in a physical store, anyways, right? Like it's the same thing as like so many things. Yeah, I don't see why not. But there might be some reason I don't know of why not. You know, we have the technology, which is all I really get to concern myself with. on melee minions, they could just decide based on how many other minions slash NPCs are already targeting it. They don't have that information, unfortunately. So we'd have to have a central hive mind that tracks what everything is targeting. And the way that the targeting system works in the game is it's actually, it's kind of every single time that they go to use an ability, they pick a new target right then. They reselect their target with each ability use. So it's not like hey, I'm targeting this enemy, I'm going to use abilities on it. It's, hey, I'm going to use this ability, who's my target? And so that like list of who's targeting what changes. It's not really consistent. You know, there's not like a sticky targeting thing. I mean, like we could maintain a list of like the most recent enemy that each minion has targeted. Report that back to the caster, and then when you go to like to try and grab a target, having to check that list. I think there's like I feel like there's performance concerns happening somewhere on that chain. And I feel like there's also like weird interactions that would happen, like unexpected, and like individual minions would just like run off in search of a new target in situations or something like that. Like it feels messy, but maybe awesome. So there's possibly room for something great there. I do really like the idea of getting a little bit smarter AI. I also like the idea of some AI having these like smart things to them, and other ones like intentionally not. You know, I kind of like the idea of I don't know, enemies just being like skeletons, for example, being just like really dumb, and just having no sense of what to do. Or you look at it the other way and it's like the skeletons are should be the smartest ones because their actions are completely controlled by the thing that summoned them. Let me go over here and get this. Get you back. And so like because the acolyte's actually what's controlling the skeletons, like psychically or something, that they are perfectly coordinated, and it's the companions who are less coordinated because they all have their own personalities and egos or whatever. Yeah, there's room for some like logic. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting my butt handed to me here. Okay, Mike, actually dodge things. Don't stand in the fire. Purple is bad. Wonderful. Any plans / talks about things like private leagues or race events EHG wants to run, like a side league that you can only use X unique in the build, stuff like that? Yeah, I think that this is something that's been very successful in other games that have done things like it, and I think we'd be foolish to ignore it as an option. So I'd really like to see. I'll fix it. I'll fix it in post. So yeah, I'd really like to see some more options there. I think there's some cool things we could do. Yes, we're interested. Getting the I think that's a little bit down the road option type thing. I don't think it's a right now option. Would you guys consider adding a toggle feature for minions to focus elite / magic mobs versus staying around the player and being defensive? I mean, we'll consider just about anything. Yeah, this kind of ties into the minion conversation we've been having here on stream, and I think there's room for more stuff. We've talked about having like toggleable stances for minions before. Kind of akin to what you'd find in like a basic Like you use, I don't know, WoW as an example, where you get like your pet, and there's like a aggressive, defensive, stand ground, you know, that sort of stuff, passive mode. I think having things like that would be really good. I'd really like to see it still. We almost did it quite a while ago. After finishing a mono, why isn't there a way to regain our missing potion? Or before fighting Aberoth, builds like Wraith Lord or Sacrifice Necro just use Jungle Queen with experimental affix of zombie on potion use. We got to port to another zone to stock up. Yeah. I think there's sort of this like, what is this? There's an issue with making pre-combat buffs, like pre-buffing stuff, a little too convenient, a little too powerful, a little too expected. And there's kind of two ways to approach, because I think we're in sort of a weird middle ground right now. I don't know if it's great. There's kind of two ways to approach it. One is just like, yeah, make it super duper convenient and have it be almost expected. The issue with that is that maybe it's not intuitive enough, and if the build is balanced around that happening, it puts this burden of optimal play in the player's hands that we don't really like. And that burden is worse the more advantageous the option is, and less convenient the option is. So like an example from another game that I think is frustrating to need to do is and I don't feel bad about saying this because it's one of my favorite games of all time. In Diablo 2, if you're wearing smoke as your armor, I think it's smoke. Oh, that's gonna haunt me if I'm wrong. Stealth? One of the armors. You go and stand in Act 4 and just literally stand in a fire, in one of the little fires at the waypoint for River Flame, and you just like sit there and you wait until it triggers fade, and then you take the gear off and you put your real armor on, and you've got fade for the fight, and you run into the fight. And like, it's this weird pre-buffing technique that if you don't if your build needs that, it's really important to do. And if you don't know about this weird thing, it's kind of a pain to set up, right? Like it's not obvious, it's not intuitive. And I really want to avoid situations like that becoming commonplace. I think is a big thing. So I don't know so I think in this specific situation, having the potions refill is a good thing. And I think if the burden is too much for this specific situation, fixing it in a different way is probably ideal. Yeah, don't forget to put @Last Epoch game in the question so I see it, please. Any plans for a console edition? It's on the table. We're looking towards consoles as a really solid option here for us in the future. I've been playing with a controller this whole time. This is the first step in getting it onto consoles, is making sure it works well with a controller, and we are very intent on making it work with controller. Oh my god. Game design is about having balanced imbalanced Mike 2024. Oh god. I mean, I don't hate that quote. That's the weird part. There's some YouTube video that I saw years ago that's basically the thesis sentence of the video. I don't remember what it's called or who made it or whatever, but like there's something in my brain of like I've watched some long form video about this that was like an hour-long video essay or something. That's basically what it boiled down to. Just teasing about the food and the beard. Oh, thank God. I love Alien. You guys are great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the follow. I was pretty sure there was nothing there because I can see a little tiny preview of me. I couldn't see anything. I just showered this morning. All right. It's okay, Mike. You're stunning. Thank you. That's so good today. Golems. Golems? Oh, these are abilities that people want to see cosmetics for. Yeah, what specific cosmetics do you want to see for the golems? And Flurry, I think that was another one for the same thing. What specific cosmetic do you want to see for Flurry? B tier? Like just a bunch of bees in a clump? Or just go whole hive on it. All the minions, really. Yeah. The minions are a tricky one. Minions are one of the hardest ones to do cosmetics for. And like we're obviously doing cosmetics for all the skills, and like we'll get there eventually. And when we do, I think some of them are going to be really amazing. But I think that some of those are the longest to do because if you convert, let's say you convert a minion, you also have to convert some of the abilities that the minion does to make sense with that conversion. And so like a minion cosmetic conversion can take like, I don't know how much, like I'm not one of the people that creates those things, but my knowledge of what's goes into each one of those, I'd say 10 times as much work to convert a minion with cosmetics than it is to convert a fireball. Like I can do the fireball one pretty, and like my VFX skills are not fantastic. Minion would take me a long time probably. Maybe it's just like a texture change though. There's probably like different tiers of it. So like if you did like just the texture, it probably wouldn't be that bad. Like converting the bear to be like a polar bear probably would be pretty easy to do. But then if you start adding like little VFX that goes with it, and then you change the abilities to also be blue and like frost and white and that sort of stuff, and like all these little things that stack up and build up to make it actually quite significant, I think. So we'll see. I think the minion ones will come slower, will be my guess. For MTX skills, I'd see any minion based skill would benefit immensely from customization options. Yes, we want golems in Lederhosen. Oh my goodness, golems in Lederhosen. I understand why, and I love it. Skill MTX for locusts inside Swarmblade to look like bees. That's a good one. It's a really good one. These are great ideas. Community on point. Speaking of community and having great ideas, because our community does have great ideas. I know we are in the process of looking for another gameplay developer. I should post a link. Kane, if you're here, can you post the link for the job posting for the gameplay developer? If you're not and you don't, I'll post it later. It's fine. But we're looking to hire a gameplay developer, someone who has like who's very who's like a coder, who's someone who knows how to make video games in Unity, like that's their primary stuff. But I think the ideal person for this is someone who has a lot of experience in RPGs and hopefully a lot of experience in Last Epoch too. If we can find someone who is like part of the LE community that wants this, that would be ideal, I think. But yeah, basically myself and a couple other people who are doing implementation stuff. We need more help to implement cool, fun things. So I know we're just putting out a job posting either today or yesterday or tomorrow. It's like just going up right now. And yeah, someone who's first and foremost a developer, but like also likes design stuff. And I think that's really the key thing, is that having someone who is like who understands RPGs and hopefully also Last Epoch a fair bit would be someone who, you know, like you get a node to implement and it says like plus 80% crit, and you're like, well, that's not right. And you just know that it means plus 80% increased crit. You just they can like intuitively tell these issues. Things like that, I think, would be with the sort of person that we're looking for. So if that sounds like you, and there's a link in chat, which hopefully there is. I'll check right now. Please go apply. I'd love to talk to you. How do I keep my place and not lose. I don't want to lose my place. I see a link. Oh, it's a poll. Careers. Yes, there it is. Wonderful. Thank you very much, people. Awesome. You know what? I think this sounds like a great time to also toss up a little teasy tease. Ba-boom. Okay. Oh, which one is it? It opened right in the center of my screen, isn't it? Oh, Mike, why do you do this to yourself? Drag it in there. Oh, that was good. Good thing I didn't open it. All right. Volatile Reversal's second combo ability now jumps you forward in time to your target location instead of backwards. The lines are second combo jump forward and plus 6 seconds cooldown 1 point. Future focus. Oh, what does that mean? Second combo ability in VR? What? What? If you can't tell by now, this along with last week's image, Volatile Reversal's getting some pretty significant changes in its base functionality and skill tree. And we'll have more details on exactly how that's going to shake out as we go forward. I'll step that down in the corner. Can you confirm that Aaron will be streaming still when season 2 drops? I think Aaron should set a hard limit on the new year. I think you should say the stream ends in 2025 at the absolute latest. I don't think it'll go that far. I mean, but maybe, I don't know. I think it would just be, or like Christmas or something like that, so he can spend Christmas with his family, not stream Christmas or something. Aaron, I'm impressed with the dedication, my friend. It is, it's been a lot. It's been great. I hope you're not, I mean this in the best way possible. I hope you're not still streaming when season 2 drops. Because that would be, that would be wild. Even if season 2 dropped January 1st, that would be crazy. Alright, more questions. I can do this, can't I? Chthonic Fissure, seeing Karen with a ship sailing through the fissure would be cool. Yeah, that would be neat. I like that idea. Hi, Mike! Where are the Twitch sub badges? I have no idea. I'm not going to try and figure it out right now because I am not familiar enough with how that works from this end to fix it if there's something wrong there. At least not on the fly. Kate or Avril, if either of you are knowing what's up there, I'd appreciate a little assisty there. That was weird. You see that animation? It was like really slow. I think it was because I used Reap right as I came out of Reaper form. That was weird. Okay. Would minions be able to see who enemies target or last targeted? Because you could at least make a more defensive AI for some of them. Like targeted or targeting is not a value or a stat. Like it's it's not something we track ever for anything. Player, minion, anything. Nothing has like a what am I targeting value. So like we'd have to develop that. It's not impossible. We could make it. But right now, as it stands, there's no information on what anything is targeting ever to use in any way. So it's a little tricky to do things like that. Probably the best way is like a last targeted, like just tracking on the actor class what the last thing it attacked was or tried to attack was. It would probably be yeah. I don't think there's any other way to do it. So this is what happens sometimes. I'm like, how could I set that up? And I'm like, well, there's a huge performance cost to that one. Huge performance cost to that one. It's going through my head right now. Except for Fenton, of course. He would just run as far away from you as possible. Yes. If you don't know, Fenton is... There are different names you can get for your minions. Basically every minion in the game, I think, has random alternate names that it can have. And one of the wolf random extra names, and only one of them does anything mechanically. Fenton is the only one. The wolf Fenton is the only one that actually has a mechanical difference based on its name, and it's from a dumb video that's hilarious, where an owner is chasing after a dog, just screaming Fenton, and it's just running as fast as it can away from the owner. So that's what Fenton in the game does. Is it just bolts to the other side of the screen. Let's have the map. This as this controller setup for this build is I'm getting more comfortable with it. It's smooth. It feels great. I know I'm not playing optimally yet, but like so much better than it was 6 months ago. Okay, don't get sucked into the gameplay, Mike. Answer questions, that's what you're here for. Will there ever be a mecha class? Like Mecha Streisand? No, I think we would likely try and do a like fantasy version of it before we did a technology version of it. So like turning Assemble Abomination into an Iron Man suit is probably more likely than having a full class based around it. But you never know, because there are some really interesting mechanical things you can do with it. And you know, it done right, I think you could have some really cool fun with that. So we'll see. Treachery is the arm of the prox fade too. Oh my god, of course it is. Thank you. Shame, Mike, shame. All right. Will Harbinger boss items stay locked to those bosses after the season ends? And will the season content items being tied to their bosses be a common theme across seasons? I switched cycle up for seasons there because there's a new name for everything. Right now, like there are no items whatsoever that are exclusively available to the ladder characters, to the season characters, to the cycle characters. All items are available on all characters right now. Nothing is restricted. Just to get that clear up right away. Reference timestamp 2 p.m. I'm only 15 minutes behind schedule. A record for me at this point. So yeah, so the all the items are for everyone completely. Just to clear that point out, because I think that might be a confusion point in the question, but I'm not sure. In the future, if there do end up being items that are locked to the cycle, when a character moves from the cycle to or the season, if there are items that are season locked. If a character moves from the season to legacy, then the items will go with them. They're not going to lose those items, so you're going to keep those items. So at the very least, those items will transfer to legacy at some point. I don't. Other than that, I don't have much in the way of details because we don't have any of those planned at the moment. And like once we do, if we do eventually plan something like that, the how we treat them could change. Have you improved the menu system for controller so it's as smooth as D4 using D4 as an example only? I've never played D4 with controller, so I don't know. If you mean this menu, it is super smooth and I love it. I'm finding this fantastic yep, this is great. That was fantastic. This is the first time I've tried to allocate passives with my controller in at least 6 months, and it went great. Yep. So it's definitely been some big improvements in that category. I can't directly compare it to D4. I'm sorry, because I never played D4 with a controller. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend. I'll play some D4 with a controller and I can compare them. Water, yes. With the memory of Blackberry. I get the D2 reference, having to do all that to do a fight, but about the potions, the build revolves around potion use because this experimental affix on zombie on potion use. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there's specifically any prep happening with that right now. It's not. I agree. It's not. If it's just that you want to have full potions to go into the fight with, it's not bad at all. Like there's nothing that needs to be fixed there other than you need to be able to have full potions to go in, which isn't a big deal. I can't remember why we set going to town didn't refresh your potions. There was a good reason for that. We almost had a fountain for a while in town as well. I think we may have actually had a fountain in town for a while. Golems and Lederhosen. That's 2 requests. Yeah, reskin. Like in Grandma's Void, to have different color elves on different levels of the game. It'd be cheap, and it wouldn't cost too much at this late stage of development. You can reference that movie to me any point in that movie any day, and I will know exactly what you're talking about. That's one of those movies that, like, if it's playing in the background, I don't think I can do it when it's not playing, but if it's playing, I can say every line as it's happening. Definitely. Every single line, every song, everything, no problem. Without it actively playing in the background, I think I'd miss the order of things. I think I'd get stuff out of order. But yeah, I've seen the movie way too many times. The polar bear skin already exists, and I occasionally snapshot it, so definitely that one is easy MTX target. The werebear has that, but does summon bear have that? What am I doing? I think I was just pressing something wrong. Probably some really obvious button that I was missing. Or some button that I remapped. That's probably what was happening there, actually. So a few days ago I was trying to make it so that the prompt keys would show up as the right, like ABXY would show up correctly, because right now every time it says A I press B and every time it says B I press A, and X and Y are also flipped. And so I was trying to to flip the controller mapping in the controller software, and then flip the mapping back using Steam's switch controller integration mapping that it has, so that it would, like, because it flips twice, it would be the right positioning on the face, but because the game would have thought that it was flipped, it would have also given me the correct button layouts. It didn't work, unfortunately. But it makes sense, because we didn't design it for Switch controllers, we designed it for Xbox and PlayStation controllers. And generic ones too. Oh, I love this one. The motion that Chaos Bolts goes on is something that we took a long time to, like, went through a lot of iterations on how that motion works, and I really like where we got to with it. Okay, more questions. What's a neat idea is, you know how after we hit 100, but the XP bar keeps going, then resets. It'd be cool if there was a little bonus after maxing that bar, like +1 to attributes or something. Yeah, so that's called the Paragon system from D3. It's not intrinsically like a bad thing or whatever. I actually think it was, by the time D3 was like nearing its end, I think it actually had evolved into something that was quite good. The initial version was had some issues. It's not really important. We've tried not to encourage really deep, like, power gains from really deep leveling. If that makes any sense? Okay. Now that those are all spawned and done, we are going to open our inventory. Oh, that button first. I see what I was doing wrong. That was user error. I was trying to be all like, oh, fast. Just pressing the wrong buttons. Alright.
Who are you?
Hello? Run! Fly, you fools!
Yeah. I'm lukewarm on that idea, personally. Oh yeah, he doesn't like me using the controller at the same time. I have a request, which is not exactly MTX, but it is related. For when example, I put down 3 chthonic fissures. I want them on a hoof or a triangle shape, just for fun of it. I get that's also changing how the skill works, but might we see something of the sort one day? Okay, so like, mechanically that is possible. Yeah, it would be like on an item or on a skill node or something like that. It's possible. I don't want to give you false hope and say like, oh, sure, I'll do it or something like that. It's not. It's mechanically possible to do, and it could be a cool thing. So I don't want to give you a. I'm trying to be as neutral in the response as possible. Apart from it's technically possible. I hope you understand. All right, I will come on board strictly to bug fix part-time.
Who are you?
I mean, not what we're looking for right now, but yeah, I mean, we do probably need more of that too. Hey, hope you guys are doing fine. Thank you. I am doing pretty good today. Have you ever talked about disabling the plus minus 20% damage range on the target dummy? I don't think that's ever come up. I could be wrong. Not that I know of, though. Cyborg Wars is telling me you did in the past, but I don't trust him. There was some changes to the way target dummies handle it. It used to. Okay, I know what this was. The target dummy used to not have any, like any enemy DR. So like bosses and enemies have stats and DR and things like that for just being high level. And so for a long time, the target dummies didn't have that, which means that you'd get really wildly off results for when you were testing on the dummy. And it is possible that I'm forgetting about something from like 5 years ago, you know. Lovely. Really hungry all of a sudden. Don't give him an out. Season 2, January 1st confirmed. No. I'm willing to cut that day. I'm willing to say it will not be January 1st. It will not be New Year's Day. That would be insane. I mean, everyone has it off, right? What day of the week is New Year's Day anyways? It's a Wednesday. We don't release on Wednesdays. Do we? I don't know if we do or not. All right, has the menu system been looked at for a controller to make it easier to interact with? I think it looks different than the last time I used it. I know there's a team that basically does controller UI as like 80% of what they do. So like definitely still being worked on, and it's definitely had a lot of changes. What portal skin is that one called? It looks like a new void portal style. Yeah. Let's I can look. I've just like realized that I just defaulted to using my keyboard and mouse because I'm so ingrained that way. Yes, it is called Crest of the Void Walker. Since there is a black hole spell in the game, will there ever be a supernova or white hole skill in the future? I think there's a supernova node in black hole. But maybe. I figured it out. I pressed the button it told me to that was right on the screen. Aren't you proud of me? Alright. Is the current plan still to have all season content available in Legacy through 1.4, or has that changed with the roadmap changing? I think I don't think we ever said that explicitly was the case, for the record. Just yeah. I don't know if what will happen with past 1.2 basically. I don't think there's, as far as I know, there's not any plans to make season specific content specifically for 1.2. I don't think. I'm really unsure on this one, so I think it's at most basically what we did with 1.1 as far as season specific content. I think I've changed my personal tune on this so many times, back and forth. Everything should be available always to everyone. Oh no, there's seasonal content's really important. We have to have it. And I flip-flop back and forth on this so hard, which is so unhelpful, I know. Right now, I think I'd really like to see seasonal content. I'd really like to see seasonal content in the sense that it is specifically things that are really good for that really stand out and shine in the campaign actually. And like what we did with 1.1, the season specific content was actually hyper endgame for like a 24-hour period because it got beat really quick, and then we opened it to everyone, so we dipped our toe into that a tiniest possible amount. But I think I really like having it be in the campaign specifically where it like starts. If we're going to do that, I think I would want it to start in the campaign personally. And part of this comes on the heels of like playing the most recent PoE League. I think was like going through the campaign again was a lot of fun because of the new stuff they added to the campaign, which they do every league, I know. But I really enjoyed this one. And I don't know, I think a lot of the conversations around the quality of the campaign and redoing the campaign, specifically where it's focused on seasonal characters as the people who are doing the campaign the most, I think that's where the biggest benefit to campaign improvements happens, or temporary campaign changes to keep it fresh happens, is in the new cycle or new season content. That's where I'd like to see it the most. I don't know if it makes sense to make that a season specific mechanic though. Whether or not that's just like every season the campaign changes, and maybe those things like, and there's like a new theme to the campaign every single time, and something that affects most of the campaign, so it's interesting and new and different. I don't know if that needs to be season specific or not. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm trying to decide personally for myself. And what that means for what we actually end up doing in Last Epoch is a whole other conversation. All right. I specifically was talking about game options and the system menus. Okay, like this menu? Like these settings? Do a little bit higher on the music, a little lower on the sound effects probably. Like it feels good. Oh, I like that way more. It's a little slower. Maybe I don't like that. I think I wanted to like just like, I'm just flicking the joystick up and I'd want it to go immediately when I flicked it instead of having to like, yeah. I like them both. I don't know. We'll see. So I just get into it, playing the game again, and I'm gonna answer some questions instead. That crate was marked for death. I had to take it out. I had a responsibility to the Crate Killers Guild of the world. All right. Well, we're gonna actually get out of that. Drugs are bad, okay? That purple stuff looks awful suspicious, okay? So, going to town should and does refresh your potions. So does any zone change with a few exceptions. However, not all of these are all of those are intentional? Team is aware and working on it though. Oh, apparently there's some bugs in there. My bad. That's why I was confused, apparently. Can you please give a quick summary of what you guys are working on now? Yeah, okay, I can do that. Okay, yes, I can do this, and then I'm like, wait a minute, am I allowed to say any of this? Crap. There's a great line in the we had a post recently that had a one-liner that was just like, it just summed up everything we were working on so well and didn't spoil anything. But the big things are like systematic endgame improvements that affect the entirety of the endgame. General gameplay improvements, bug fixing, just game quality and general improvements. I'm like trying to think of vague terms for things that are coming. Like 6 things I can't say that I want to say that would be great to say right now. Other cool stuff. Sorry, I don't want to get in trouble. I have been. I will say this. Okay, so I have. I'll sidestep half this question for now, and I will say we are actively working on. I can't say that either. Crap. Oh, there's a little bit of filament from a 3D print that I did recently that's sitting on the ground. It looks so much like a spider. I'm starting. It's only partially printed. I got 1 2/2 of the sides going, but this is going to be the head of a very iconic mace from a very specific fantasy series. Like 4.5 feet long in the end. Sorry, that threw me off completely. Summary stuff we're working on. Lots of cool stuff. Well, I did. Okay, so I remember what I was gonna say. I recently asked for a list of like things I'm allowed to say in this exact category, and hopefully I'll get that list soon. So I'll try and get that updated soon. But you know what I'll do right now? A little bit of a lull. Here's another teaser. This time for a long requested node that I know some people will be very happy to see. Here is an update, a new node for Rive. And the real short version of this node is full void conversion across the board. Finally doing it. So I'll leave that up for a second. I'll answer some more questions. I had to gift a sub when you recognize Grandma's boy like you did. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's wonderful. I missed that, but thank you very much. Congrats to Aaron who got that. Well done. Yeah. Love Grandma's boy. I haven't watched. It's been like a month since I've seen it. Okay, I'm gonna watch it again tonight. It's one of my like. It's kind of like that and Voyager, and like Battlestar Galactica are things that I was like put on in the background while I work that like I don't need. Like just the audio and it's like my brain's watching it in the background. All right, I think last stream you explained the original purpose of COFMG was supposed to be a progression system that rewarded you, but it is too good with the buffs, etc. It's in a good place now. It's in a good place now. I think. Are you cooking up something else for progression after level 100? I think we are cooking up a system that is late game progression that is decoupled from level, and there's still stuff to do post 100 in it. That's awesome. Yeah. Switch controller support when Switch is not one of the one of the systems we're targeting for the eventual console push when we do get there, when we start looking at consoles. Switch is probably not one of the ones we're targeting. It's probably just going to be the latest PlayStation and Xbox releases, not specifically like their pro variants, but like the latest base version, so like PS4 not PS5 type thing. Sorry, PS5 not PS4. And I don't own an Xbox, so whichever one of the Xboxes is the new one. And I don't think Switch is on that list, so I doubt Switch controller support specifically. But you never know; we might expand that list. I think it's what I'm doing is a me problem, not a game problem. I'm going to shove this down to the controller in the corner, and I'm going to keep playing and answering questions. Don't know if it's ever been asked before, but why do loot lizards sound like WoW gnolls? Some bot assets? No, that is a fully unique and fresh asset that we made specifically for that. I don't know why it sounds familiar for that. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh my god, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does. I think it's just there's only so many sounds and things sound. I bet if you put them side by side, it'd be more obvious that they're different. I don't know. It's been a while. I haven't like played WoW since Wrath. That was a dark time. Okay, boss fight. I'm gonna let this fall and specifically get that. We're gonna do this boss before the game. I'm gonna do the boss in controller. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna try and catch up on some questions. We're gonna rapid fire some questions here, and then I'm gonna do the boss. What's the most annoying bug that you either have fixed in LE or have tried to fix that still exists? There was I actually don't know if this got fixed. I assume it did. I haven't seen it in forever. That I was briefly assigned to fix that I never fixed myself. When you transition zones in a party, sometimes the party frame UI in the top left corner would just vanish. And it wouldn't vanish for the entire party, but it vanished for some people in the party, and it would come back randomly. That was one of my most frustrating ones that I ever tried to work on. I never solved it, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I think it might be solved anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna say that one. It's the intermittent. Yeah, there's a few of them that are like anything that's intermittent and not reproducible. So like I get bugs assigned sometimes, and it's like I go test them. And I'm like, I can't make it happen. If you can't make the bug happen in the first place, it's so hard to fix because you have to have a consistent reproduction steps in order to be able to test it after you fixed it to make sure it's actually fixed. And so you just be like sure, you can, if you find a bug that's like, oh, this is there's a node that's supposed to give 100% more damage, and instead it's giving negative 50% less damage type thing instead, and it's like that's really easy to test because you can just see the numbers changing. But like if the numbers weren't changing, and it's still a really easy bug to fix if you know what you're looking for, but like if you can't test it, you can't make sure, and that's the frustrating part. All right, my bad, it wasn't you, it was Justin 6 months ago that said thing about dummies with damage variance. My memory isn't perfect. Haha. Vindication. That's fine, don't worry about it. I'd like the seasonal content if we knew well in advance that it was going away, just so we could plan personal life around it. Okay, yeah, if we did do a seasonal explicit content that was vanishing, we would definitely be clear about that well in advance. How far up the priority list is fixing specifically crash problems, game freezes, movement ability bugs that causes death? I'm a hardcore player. 90% of my deaths are these things. Extremely high. Extremely high, extremely high, extremely high. What are some of the upgrades coming with Unity 21 that you're excited to do with LE? I mean, the biggest thing that I'm really excited for is DLSS and FSR. There's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that doesn't really affect you directly as a player, but trust me, it's great. What do you mean it's a bug with potions? I don't know. Sorry. I was reading a comment. from Everell. I think this is in relation to a bug with certain zones not refreshing your potions when they're supposed to. I think that's what it was. Don't forget to mention him, but yes, more teaser, please. Yes, I did that. Is that a Zelda mace? It is not Zelda. It's hard to see what it is because it's only on screen for like 5 seconds in the movie. Right at the start. Probably 3/4 through the third one for a little bit as well. Joe Mike, looking smug. You working out or switching the diet? Handsome Devil, thank you very much. A lot of both. Has there been any thought on creating an alternate leveling method for alts? Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the stream. I can talk about it again a little bit. Like a 1 to 56 monolith system. I literally do not play alts in games that force campaign run through every character. I cannot stand it more than once. Lol. So I'll talk a little bit more. I can think of one here. Loot Lizards is Hogger is stealing my loot. Any plans on changing Lich, such as making it so you can die in Lich form, which then you can reduce the cooldown much lower? Possibly it's what I was talking about a little bit earlier in the stream. There's something there that I think needs to be done with it because yeah, it is really. I'm playing it. It is. I pop out a Lich and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run around in a circle and try not to die. Just want to say I enjoy the campaign and dungeons more than the monoliths. I just want to provide positive feedback for something the vocal minority seems to hate. However, Lightless Arbor's dungeon mechanics can die in a bit. Please find another way of depleting embers other than receiving damage / hits. Just so you know, with that one, you can, if the amber's not on you physically, hits don't reduce it, so you can like throw it out with the D key, and it your hits don't reduce it then. So just try not to be carrying it when you're going to take a hit. Is there by chance a pet cosmetic to make our squirrels into void instead of shrines? No. Well, there's not one that I like ready to go or anything like that. I don't know. There might be one being made, but I haven't seen one. LTR, yes, you Tarzan, me Wayne. Love it. You are correct. It is Lord of the Rings, Sauron's mace. Yes, Surfax. It's just the head. It's going to be a lot bigger. I ran out of filament, and more of it's showing up tomorrow. All right. The part of you I think is not fixed. Oh god. See, frustrating. All right. Let's talk about alternate leveling systems while I try and beat this boss. Okay, so we have tried. One thing we're really interested in doing is making the leveling experience something that is a fun part of the game. I think that's a controversial thing to be like, yes, we want leveling a new character to be fun. Haha. I know a lot of people, for a lot of people, like a static campaign experience is not a fun thing to do multiple times. And there's I think a lot of baggage that goes with maybe having done that in other games before as well, that puts a lot of negative spin on that even before we're out of the gate. I'm not saying ours is significantly better or anything like that, but just there's a lot of I don't know, prejudice might be the wrong word because it seems too strong, but like I think that's technically the right term. I think there's a lot of I think it's difficult to have people come into it with if they really dislike that in style thing in general. Yeah. And so yeah, we really want to have that leveling experience be something that is fun. Oh my god. I just like got nuked right at the start, lost my reperform right away. Okay, this is gonna be tricky. Alright. Can we even do this? Is it possible? Okay. I'd really like us to have an alternate leveling experience system. I don't think that the current setup for monoliths is perfect. I don't think the current setup for monoliths is actually good enough to be that leveling experience as well as the primary endgame system. I think the monoliths themselves need a lot of work to really shine in either of those situations. And we are working on that and doing a lot of things that are going to make that leveling and especially early late game experience a ton better, and late game experience too. So yeah, we are. This is stuff that we are working on, and we're laying the groundwork for, I think, alternate leveling systems to be more approachable, more accessible, more fun, and dang it, I got greedy. Oh, it just come off cooldown, I think. It's too bad. I think I can do that with keyboard and mouse, just because I'm more used to it. We'll try again. We'll try again. How much do we need more? Still good. Okay. Can I? Character. There it is. Okay, resistances are stacked. That is not the problem. We need more health. We need more attack speed. What am I doing? Okay, we're gonna do this keyboard and mouse just because I'm so much faster at it and I want to get through this. That's a really nice one. Health's done. Do we have any room for forging potential that we can pull something? Improvements? No. No. One forging potential. Hey, vitality's vitality. I mean, can we roll those better? They're decent. Probably won't reroll those. Oh, our gear's not got a lot of room and for a wiggle in there, does it? Okay, ignite and Ellie res. That's bad for us because we have so much Ellie res. Fire res kind of wasted. Poison res wasted. Poison res wasted. Vitality's nice regardless. Armor ignite. It's kind of useless. Oh, poison we dropped below the line. Okay. Apparently, we had a lot of poison riding on that. Okay, what idols do we have here? Profane Veil. I'm not using it. Damned on hit. Transplant CDR. That's not bad. His spell. We don't do much of his spell. Crit, crit, crit. Yeah, we like crit. Do we just slap a bunch of crit on there? For the play, we can do one of. We can't do. No, that doesn't work. I'd rather have this one, I think. Yeah. It's fine. Trying to do this quickly and I'm not finding really great stuff. Why don't I have amazing idols that are just like ready to go? Oh, if you just had like a little minion doing something, just mark for death. Yeah. Okay, where's our health? I want to beat this boss. Come on, vitality. I just want lots of health. Give me some amazing health ones. Come on. Why did my vitals all suck? Why? What did I do? Ooh, there we go. That one's going in for sure. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. 5% that's going in. 5% that's going in. Okay. Where can I wiggle that in? There's poison is low. All right. It's an improvement. And you know, it's funny, now we're out of potions. Some more questions here. Okay, so just talking about the alternate leveling stuff for a second. The dungeons, part of what the dungeons were supposed to be was an alternate leveling experience. And they kind of do that, but they're really crap at doing that. And so improving the dungeon experience is going to be a big thing that's going to help with improving the alternate leveling path, especially for experienced players. And one of the big things that dungeons, that process of going through the dungeon when it's that static layout with blockers in the way, I think we've proven that's not fun for the vast majority of players. And so when we fix that, that's going to be a huge boost to the way dungeons function. We're going to be able to add so many more dungeons, and you're going to see a natural alternate leveling path that doesn't rely so heavily on the campaign, and also alternate paths for getting the bonuses that would be available in the campaign that are going to just make the whole process blow wide open, I think, really quickly. I think there's room for really awesome alternate leveling paths that don't just say, hey, you're in the monolith now. That can be, I think the big key thing for them is they can be varied. I think they can be heavily varied in the paths you choose. I think the original vision for dungeons as an alternate leveling path is still really great. I think we pumped the brakes really hard on them because dungeons themselves weren't fun enough. And I think we're finally getting to the point where dungeons are going to be fun enough that alternate leveling path is going to be a really positive experience for people that are really seeking that. I want to do something else other than the campaign. I want to be able to choose my own adventure as I'm leveling a character still. But still having that experience be different from just, hey, you're straight into endgame already. I think it's going to be a really positive experience. I could be wrong about this. And we're seeing people that are hopping into monolith level 20 already. Like, it's really not that long, especially on alt characters. But I think the key part for a lot of players is not those alt characters, but rather those new characters who are starting fresh when the season starts that want that experience to be fun still. And we want that experience to be fun still. And that's definitely the direction we're going, something that we're heavily working on. I think this also comes hand in hand with seasonal mechanics, things that are fun to slot into the campaign experience that make it different, that make it feel different, that add new themes, add new people, add new ideas, mechanics, activities, all these things that you can make that leveling experience new, different, fun, prepare you for endgame mechanics that are going to be integrated into a system at the whole once you need to use them fully. And having that gradual introduction process in the campaign is going to be really positive for players to learn those systems, not in a high stakes environment, so to speak. Okay, let's go. Is there any chance answer that I may have very rarely and on rare occasion, sometimes possibly perhaps allegedly sent bug reports, which I may or may not have realized afterwards that were strictly technically speaking idiotic of me to send? May I please request forgiveness for past transgressions? Absolutely. And I just noticed your name, which is kind of funny in this context. But yes, you are forgiven. No problem. I would much rather people send in like 4 bug reports and only one of them actually be and then realize the next day that 3 of those were kind of crap. and be like, oh well, one of those three was good, but one of the four was good, but the other three were crap. Like, I'd rather that situation than just like didn't send any bug reports. Like we can filter stuff that's not great. Is there any improvements to Steam Deck performance? Someone last week was saying that you didn't have to use cryo utilities anymore. Not sure, but yeah, it's something we're working on. Based on previous answers given, is there a possibility of defining soon? I'm sorry, there's not. Knowing you are working on an alternate leveling method is all I need to hear, and to know you are actively finding something that can check all the boxes of leveling is great. Thank you. You're welcome. I hope we come up with something awesome for you. Suggested in the forum thread to instead make dungeons that takes any key and grants you some idle slots and passive scales with level. So it's a baseline environment for anyone trying to speed level. Would that be something you would add instead? Dungeons are already an alt leveling tool, and that way you don't have to have a fixed path to follow, just random levels. Yeah, so those last two words that you've just put in that sentence are like the hardest part of that whole thing, and I know it seems really innocuous, like just random levels. Like, yeah, great, super easy. Oh my god, that's a mega massive project that takes a lot of people and is really big, and we're working on it. Any plans for a mini game to be added to the main game? Creator collector card games, some sort of thing. I would be over the moon if we did this. This is like we're talking dream come true feature for Mike here. I've not been told I'm allowed to start making one yet. But I will break them one day. As a big fan of Ellie 2K hours, wow, it's a lot. I wonder if Rune Master will return to its past glory. It's kind of confusing. When the Mastery came, Sork was bad, and the only strong Sork builds were actually Sork with the Rune Master passives. Now it is the opposite. No Rune Master builds, only Sork using some Rune Master skills and passives. I think in both cases, there was a disproportionately powerful thing pushing one half above the other, and the tendency for only whatever's the absolute best to be popular was kind of pushed to the extreme, and we ended up with a very lopsided results on the stats on what people were using, and I think that it's a matter of just like getting a little bit better balance, and we'll see a little bit better spread. It's a really tricky combination of it's a really tricky combination to balance nicely. They're so similar and they have so much natural overlap that quite often when a mechanic's really strong on one, it's really strong on both. I popped that way too quick. I double tapped it. It was great. It was great. Yeah, skill shards. Feeling good about that. Those are supposed to stick around. I don't know whether or not. Bone Curse does a lot of damage. All right. Well. Oh, you're allowed to make a mini game one day. There, now someone just told you, said it to you. Thank you very much. Well, I had a great time. I hope you did too. I will be back same time, same place next week. If I missed your question, I apologize. It was not intentional. Please head on over to our Discord and I will try to answer it there. We've got an Acidev's channel. We got a couple last second ones in here. If I'll be back, yeah, same time, same place next week. Hopefully with a guest. I think we're if not next week, the week after, we're gonna start doing guests. I really want to get this as a regular thing we do frequently. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. And let's go. Let's see if anyone's doing anything fun right now. Oh, someone's going. Let's see who this person is. That was a good stream. I really enjoyed playing with the controller this time. So thank you very much for pressuring me into giving that a shot. I really enjoyed it. See you next week.